Oh, hi, my name is Jaime. I'm from English2-G15, and today I'll be your interviewer. This interview is for my project for Professor Granfield. The purpose is to learn how third semester students related to languages they are studying. The interview will be divided into parts. First, some identification questions to know more about you, and then the questions about the topic. Thank you for your time and for being part of this project.
It's a
Well,
pleasure to be here.
Uh, firstly, what's your full name?
My full name is Janer Alfredo Fals Chamorro.
Thank you. How old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
What's your gender?
I'm a male.
Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia, Barranquilla.
What university do you study at?
I study at Universidad del Atlántico.
What academic program are you studying?
I'm studying foreign languages.
What semester are you currently in?
I'm currently on third semester.
Okay. How long have you been studying in this program?
I have been here since 2020, but I had to pause due to COVID.
Okay. Who is your current English teacher?
This semester I'm not watching English.
Okay. What subjects are you taking this semester?
I'm taking French, German, human development, and models and tendencies.
Okay. How do you usually prepare for your classes?
I usually read about what the next class is going to be about. It depends on how the teacher, the professor prepare us for it. Sometimes they don't give us any information about it, so I just read general information or I don't read anything at all, to be honest.
Okay. And lastly, what skills do you think are your strongest as a language student?
I would say that I have a great well, my memory skill is pretty great, but I think that the best one is that I can connect some concepts between them. Like it's really easy to me to understand a topic, even if later I'm not really good at trying to apply them.
Thank you. Well, now we are going to start the topic question, how the student related to languages they are learning, English, French, and German. For
Okay.
this part, I'm going to ask you 20 questions. And the first question is, what words or expressions do you remember that sound similar in the three languages?
Mm. About words, I always remember photograph because it's reading pretty the same on all three languages. But there are a lot of other examples that I don't remember right now. Right, one a word that can be the same or very similar on three words is photograph, for example.
Thank you. When did you first notice that some of the languages are related?
Hmm. The first time. I would say that it was when I was a child. Well, yeah, a child. I was about 8 or 9 years old. That I learned for the first time that in English with the word for aguacate is avocado, and I said that sounds really similar, and I started to look a bit about it.
Okay, when you were a child. Well, how do you understand the connection between English, French, and German?
Hmm. I would say they are connected due to the Latin. I think it's Latin. I'm not really sure. There is like their root, there where most of their expressions, words, and in general the language comes from. That's like their common. They are most commonly bent bent over there.
Okay, thank you. What examples can you give of things that are similar between them?
Hmm. I would say, well, they have a lot of similarities as most of the languages, such as the use of for example, the tenses. Some words they share with them with each other. Some expressions also. I mean, they have a lot of similarities and their own unique quirks, I would say.
Well, why do you think some parts of the languages look alike?
I would say they are very similar on the use of verbs, and also a lot of verbs are similar between them. Also, of course, a lot of adjectives and words that comes from another languages that keeps just the same when they are into another language. Um, I would say, well, no, that's fine. That answer is okay.
Yeah, but I mean like a reason. Why do you like, for example, I would say that for the Latin stem in
Of course.
French. So that can you give me another
Mm.
answer, please?
Oh, sure. I mean, yes, they are, as I said before, they are really band together due to the Latin, since most of them, or most of their expressions, words, and well, in general, a lot of languages around the world comes from Latin, so they have like a common theme from them.
Okay, thank you. How do you use one language to help you understand another?
Oh, I learned English a few years ago. I mean, I've been learning it for a lot of a great part of my life, and I have been using like the same strategies that work for me on English. I have been trying to apply them also to German and French, and they've been working pretty well. The most common ones are like, for example, watching movies or series, or listening to music just to get used to listening the words and reading them, of course.
What do you usually do when you get confused between two languages?
If I'm confused between them, like I don't know if this word sounds like this or something like that due to my knowledge on the other ones, I try to focus on the pronunciation and how they are written. Since, for example, all the verbs in German ends with en, so I try to look for differences between the how they are written and how they are pronounced, just to know or to try to find out exactly to which language it means and how it should be pronounced.
Well, how do you use what you know from English when learning French or German?
Oh, I usually compare the structures, mainly with German. Well, I try to, when first started studying German, I thought this looks very similar to English. No, it is not. But that's what I thought. So I tried to apply, as I said, some of the strategies that work for me at the beginning, and on some structures I do try to think this is very similar to English, and try to, in order to remember them, I try to remember first the structure in English so I can organize the phrase before saying or writing it.
Okay, okay. What difference do you see between the two languages?
Mm, Well, there are a lot of differences, but the one that pops up the most for me are in the case of French is very easy to know when a word is in French due to that is a very nasal language, so the pronunciation is greatly similar. Um, for German, something that I like that is very different than in English is that the pronunciation, you pronounce the word exactly how they are written. Not as in English that depending on how the word is structured, as a vocal may sound a way or another. So those are like the main difference I can find between them.
Okay. How do you compare the pronunciation of English, French, and German?
Oh, well, as I just said, English, French is a very nasal language, so it's pretty easy to know when you're talking French in comparison to the other ones. And in the case of English, it has that thing that I just mentioned that even if two words are written similar, it doesn't mean that they are pronounced the same because it depends on the word, the context, and a lot of other things. That's different in German since most of the words in German are pronounced exactly how they are written. excepting for well, it has a few exceptions, but most of the language is just like that.
Okay. Which of the three languages helps you the most to learn the others?
Well, since I already know English, that's the one that helps me the most.
And which language do you think is easier for you? And why?
Uh, well, putting English aside, I would say that French, maybe, since it has also similarities to Spanish. But sometimes I'm having a few difficulties with it also. But I would say French.
How do you feel when you have to study all the three languages at the same time?
Oh, I really feel overwhelmed. I mean, like my head is about to explode.
Well, what do you think helps you more? Learning one by one or all the three languages together?
Due to my studying method, I would say learning one by one. It's better for me to just focus on learning a language, since I can focus on understanding their structure and all the information about it.
And you're not stressed about studying German and then French and English and
Yeah,
all
and
of
getting
that.
a mess on my head. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Well, how could you study the three languages in a way that connects them better?
Well, what I'm currently doing, I think helps me a lot to connect them and try to understand them. Just as I said, trying to use a similar structure as I did in English. But to be honest, I'm still looking for a way to learning all three of them together since sometimes I get a bit messed up.
Okay, thank you. What study method would you like to try to improve all the three languages?
Hmm. Well, I'm not really sure. I have to look a bit more about learning methods. But sure, I would like to try some new ones since, as I said, mine is working, but I think it could be better.
Uh, well, can you explain which is the yours that
Oh,
you are
well,
currently using?
yeah, sure. I'm basically focused on repeating. Most of the time, what I do is when I'm on a topic, I try to repeat all the well phrases, verbs, structures, and try to repeat them on different scenarios, but mostly focusing on, for example, I don't know, 5 or 10 verbs, and I try to put them on different scenarios in order to focus on learning those verbs first of all, and then the structure they are using. So if I have to use a different verb in the future, even if I'm not really sure of what that verb mean, I just try to put a similarity to one that I know and try to form a structure. Most of the time I make mistakes, but that has worked pretty well for me.
Okay, thank you. How could teachers help you connect the three languages more easily?
Well, it's very useful for me when my French on English or English teacher do like comparisons to English since I have already studied English a lot. So when they talk to us about a structure and they compare it to English, it helps me a lot to understand it most of the time.
It's very useful.
Yeah.
Oh, what advice would you give to students who start studying these three languages?
Oh, to repeat. To be honest, to repeat. Just write down, if you need to write down a verb 1,000 times, write it down 1,000 times. It's pretty important to make it into your head since just by repeating it will eventually get on it, and it will be like a passive knowledge that when you need it, it's just going to pop out of your head. You don't really have to keep focusing on it since it will be just passive knowledge.
It will be in your brain and it's just going to appear when it
Yeah,
needed.
when you need it.
How do you imagine your progress if you keep studying the three languages together?
Oh, I would say that in a few years, I might at least be able to hold like a real conversation to a actual language speaker, well, that language speaker. For example, I have a plan of traveling Germany probably next year or the year after that. And I would really love to get at least a small conversation to a German itself in German. So I hope that helps me out.
Okay, thank you. And the last question, what benefits do you think you get from learning three languages at the same time?
Oh well, I learned a lot of cultures, and I force my study to keep improving and keep. I force my brain to keep studying, to keep learning, and of course to be active. So it helps me out in general to study not only the languages but other subjects, since yeah, I'm constantly forcing myself to be active, to be studying, to learn new things, and to not just be sitting down all day as I used to do.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers and for taking time to participate in this interview. Your responses will be very helpful for my project about how students relate the two languages together. It was great talking with you, and I really appreciate your collaboration. Have a nice day.
Thanks to you for inviting me here. Have a nice day.